October 2nd, 2019, still here. Joe at Simple Life Show. SimpleLifeRemedy.org is the website. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today as well. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, do all the good social media stuff. We're going to be talking about in this video something a little bit faux pas, something that not too many people really want to talk about because, especially if they're male, I think you know where I'm going with this. It's abortion, obviously. If you're a male, then it's kind of you have a zipper on your mouth because you're not allowed to speak about it. But that is just another tactic of people who do not want to hear any alternative point of view or the truth or anything like that. Now, I won't make any bones about it. I do not agree with abortion. I think that is necessary in certain types of situations if the doctor deems it necessary to save the life of the mother. I do believe in that. I did have to go through that in my life. Not my own, but a close family member had to go through it. It was one of the hardest things I've had to do. I still think about it till this day. I still regret having to spend the money on it because they came to me and they asked me for help. But I've never been in favor of abortions. I think it should be, as they put originally, very safe and rare. And it should be rare, but however, in this day of age, it is being put into the same kind of dialogue and the same sentence as healthcare, and that's where it becomes very dangerous. Of course, Planned Parenthood has been under a lot of fire for selling baby parts. A lot of the corruption that goes in with the CEOs of Planned Parenthood. Of course, the last couple weeks or so, there have been a lot of Planned Parenthood closings because of maybe lack of funding. But of course, I really don't believe that because the U.S. government has given over $500 million to Planned Parenthood. And under Title X funding, which we'll hear in a few minutes here, they are still able to use the funding as long as it's not directly tied to the selling of an abortion. They want to talk about women's health care. And the government's still willing to subsidize that. It's still willing to give Planned Parenthood a lot of money for the use of their facilities for women's health and a lot of that other stuff. So they want to continue using this as an excuse, and they want to lump abortion in with women's health when it's not the same thing. The thing is that the government and Trump actually called Planned Parenthood's bluff and told them, yes, I'll continue giving your money on this condition. That as long as you stop selling, as long as you stop selling the idea and stop selling the abortion when people come in for help, because it's Planned Parenthood, not Planned Abortionhood. Okay, I mean, if they really just want to sell abortions and that's all they want to do, they really need to change their name to Planned Abortion, and that's it. And they need to stop taking money from the federal government because the federal government cannot give money towards that sort of thing because it ends lives. It is against the Constitution. The Constitution is there for a specific reason, to protect life and liberty in the pursuit of happiness. That is central to the Declaration of Independence, and it's to the Constitution. Now, if you ask some of the feminists out there that do not agree with abortion, they will tell you the same thing that I said, because feminism, the whole idea of abortion goes against feminism as well, because it's not only the right of the woman to their own body, but it's also the life of the woman inside the woman as well. So does she not matter as well as a baby, as a fetus, as a living human being? And what a lot of people don't understand about this, and what I had to kind of understand too, even though I've been against abortion this whole time for a lot of various reasons, is a lot of the reasons were religious. But as I started to learn more about this, there's a lot more reasons to not support abortion. Number one, and I'll just talk about this one. I told you the feminist argument, but this one that actually makes a lot of sense. If you bring up the whole rape thing, so if a woman's raped, obviously, it's a really touchy situation because you don't really want to blame the child, the child for the sins of the father, but at the same time, do you force a woman to carry that child to term? Okay, I can't answer that question. I mean, I think it's a moral question that the woman has between her and God, and it has not. I can't say anything about that. I can personally not agree with the taking of life. However, when we talking about rape, if we talk about women in abusive relationships, if we're talking about women that maybe have sex because they need something like food or shelter, or they become prostitutes, I mean, it's terrible. It's a terrible situation. But we focus too much on the abortion itself and not the actual situation that causes it. We don't focus as much at on the woman actually the act of rape itself, which is the worst thing of the whole argument, that the woman was raped to begin with. It's bad that the woman has to be in a position to have to turn herself into a prostitute to survive as well. It's bad if a woman's in an abusive relationship where there's a beer guzzling alcoholic of a man who was beating up on this woman, and she can't do anything about it. And she ends up getting pregnant. She doesn't want the child. She has an abortion. We're not concerned so much with what all the constituting factors that led to that. So the more that abortion is actually pushed out into the narrative and to the minds of the public as if it was part of healthcare, as if it was needed as part of the stitch work of our society, as it's being proclaimed that it's something that women need on a universal and a foundation basis. That is something they need. Well, a lot of people, and realizing, even the people that are protesting and are for the pro-choice movement, do not realize that the more money that is filtered into the abortion clinics, the less money that actually going into a lot of the programs that support women in general, not only women's health, but also when they actually have a child. So abortion, in a way, is actually taking away the money that and the funding and the subsidies that would go into helping women get a better education, helping with childcare costs and stuff like that. So it's actually a snake that's feeding its own self. The more that there's abortion, the more that's funding into this abortion, the more it's feeding itself, because then you have a lot of these issues that women keep getting into and men keep putting them into, because it's always a tango, right? Unless it's rape, obviously. In a lot of other situations where there's abuse going on. I'm not a woman hater. I am a truth lover, and I want to help women. I love my wife. She's a feminist, and I'm a Republican, and so is she. She's one of the few one of the few people out there that is a feminist, but also does not agree with abortion. And I think those people are rare, and I think they need to speak up, because this is something that really needs to be talked about. Okay, so on a couple days ago, Nancy Pelosi just came out and said that abortion, what did she say? It was originally tied to an article that Nancy Pelosi saying where restricting abortion was immoral. And I think that we have gone over and we've seen enough of these arguments, and we can understand enough about the whole abortion argument to realize that it is not immoral to try to save a life, period. So we'll just play this here real quick, see if this is going to play.
Family planning providers from referring women for abortion. The president of Students for Life of America, Kristen Hawkins, says the American people are on the side of life, and she joins me now with more. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Thanks for having me this morning. So as we begin our discussion, let's bring up the map of states who are suing to block the Title X rule. Why do you believe that Planned Parenthood will not win in this? Well, going to the courts is a consistent strategy that Planned Parenthood uses to override the will of the voters, override the executive and legislative branches. They've been doing this since 1973, since Roe versus Wade. We've already seen in the Ninth Circuit where the court has let the Trump administration's Protect Life rule go into effect despite it being sued. I think the government is in a very strong position here because they've given every opportunity to Planned Parenthood, and they've been very fair to Planned Parenthood to allow them to continue to receive Title X funds. All they have to simply agree to do is stop selling abortions when they're counseling women, meeting women, servicing them in Title X, using Title X funds, and that their abortion facilities can't be co-located within a government-funded clinic. And it's a lot of money when it comes down to it. Federal funding for Planned Parenthood from 2017 to 2018, we can bring this up, was $563.8 million. So what type of feedback do you get from the students that you rally for the Students for Life of America? Sure. Well, we're on campuses every day talking to millennials about abortion. And what we know is 7 in 10 millennials reject the premise that their taxpayer dollars should be used for abortion, no matter where they stand on abortion. In fact, by 3-to-1 margin in our own poll, we found that millennials would rather have their tax dollars go to federally qualified health centers, which outnumber Planned Parenthood facilities 20-1, instead of Planned Parenthood abortion vendors. And the argument that Planned Parenthood will be making today, as you understand it, they're going to be saying that women are hurting because Planned Parenthood isn't receiving the $60 million in Title X funds. And that's simply not the case, because this money hasn't been taken away from low-income women. Instead, it's being redirected to health centers that actually help women have a family, not prevent a family. All right. Kristen Hawkins joining us live this morning to break it down for us. Thank you.
So yeah, that just kind of gives you a good overview of. Hold on for a second. My mic is just completely terrible. That kind of gives you an overview of kind of what I was talking about. Now, this mega clinic, I think that I had mentioned this before, that just went up in Illinois. They did this almost overnight. This actually went up in the matter of like a week or two. It's a mega clinic. It's 18,000 square feet of abortion goodness. I mean, this is just kind of just sick. Of course, it's in Illinois. It's in southern Illinois. And they did this under the a lot of wraps that it was not actually put out in the media or any kind of press release that they were actually doing this, because they knew that protesters were going to show up and they were going to delay them. One way or the other, this was going to happen. So basically here, there's a few things I want to kind of point out. There was always potential challenges to building a facility like this, wrote Jesse Lauder with Planned Parenthood. Protesters and other adverse actions can cause delays in completing projects, yada, yada, yada. While we continue to fight to maintain access in Missouri, we are excited to expand our abortion services in Illinois. Of course, they are excited for the abortion services. They're not excited for actually helping women with their health issues. They are excited for the abortion services, said Colleen McNicholas, Chief Medical Officer of PPSL or whatever. The new health center is a testament to the needs of the greater bi-state region and our commitment to providing, protect, and expand access to health care no matter what. Now, this isn't health care. I mean, we can keep going back to this, and I can keep hounding this over and over and over again. Abortion laws there in Australia as well. They had just passed here over the last week or so over in New South Wales in Australia, and they have just recently passed this. Of course, this includes up to birth and abortions as well, as long as the doctor and another doctor agree on it for some reason. Of course, we don't really know what all of the constituting factors is on what really needs to be at play when one doctor confers with the other on that, but it just seems like this whole change in dialogue, this whole change of definition, this whole change of our language, where we have taken the abortion, which was supposed to be rare, it was supposed to be safe, accessible, and rare, and that had all to do with the Roe versus Wade, and it was it was fine the way it was, but we have taken these certain freedoms that we have, and I wouldn't even call it so much a freedom as it would be a stretch of morality, because, like I said, I can't tell one woman what to do, but I can speak my truth and what I believe is morally correct, and also society, as far as also what's moral and correct for society. Nancy Pelosi is absolutely wrong when it comes to this. And if you think about it just for 2 seconds, what I was talking about with all the funding that is diverted away from all of these good programs for women, not only women that are pregnant, but also women that are looking to forward their career, go back to school, that sort of thing. Less money is going towards that. So it's not actually pro-woman, it's actually anti-woman, because too much money is going into the whole abortion thing. So until next time, this is Joe's Simple Life Show. As always, stay safe out there, and don't forget to like, share, and do all the good social media stuff. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.